Namaskaraha. I hope I am audible. Vandetam madavaranendravadanam madbhagadheya kritam shundadanda suchalanena jagatam mayantarayamayan vidravya pranati prasanna hridayo yonuktayeva swayam rakshatyanvaham atmanoti virudam vaidyesha putrabhidham. So the Titibha Samudra Katha in the previous class, continuing from the conversation that happened after the Damanaka story of Samudra to Sanjivaka. Tadakarnya Sanjivaka stameva bhuyopi vapracha bhomitra katham nyeyo maya saudushta buddhiliti yantam kalam yavatu uttarottara snehena prasadena chaham drishtah nakadachit tad vikritir drishta tad katyatam yenaham atmarakshartham tad vadhaya udyamam karomi. So Sanjivaka asks Damanaka, what is the proof finally that Pingalaka is Dushta Buddhi, that he has some kind of a negative intention, ill intention towards me? How do I know? Yatavat kalam kala paryantam yantam kalam, all these days uttarottara snehena prasadena cha aham drishtaha. So I have been seen by him with uttarottara sneha, more and more sneha and affection has been showered upon me by Pingalaka. So I have not seen Vikriti even once. Kathyatam yena. So please let me know, so that atmarakshartham tasya vadhaya udyamam karomi. Damanakaha bhadra kimatra jnayam yeshate pratyaha. This is the proof. Yadi raktanetra strishikham bhukutim tadhana srikkani parilelihan Dwan drishtva bhavati tad dushta buddhihi anyatha suprasadas cheti tadagnyapayamam swashrayam prati gacchami. So he describes his facial condition, and he says that if he is going to be like this, his eyebrows, to lick the corners of his mouth and look at you, you can know that he is dushta buddhi. Anyatha suprasadas cheti tadagnyapayamam. So please, now permit me, I will go towards my home. Swashrayam prati gacchami. Tvayacha yathayam mantrabhedo na bhavati tatha kartavyam. And so please remember not to reveal the secret outside. Apadarthe dhanam rakshe, daran rakshe, dhanairapi, atmanam satatam rakshe, darairapi, dhanairapi. So please do remember that to safeguard oneself is one's foremost dharma. Because if there were no self, you cannot enjoy dhana, dara, any saukhya. So you have to take utmost care of yourself. Balavatabhibhutasya videshagamanam tadanupravesho va nitihi tad deshatyagaha karyaha athava atma samadhibhirupayehi abhirakshaniyaha. So deshatyaga is the best course of option for you, Sanjivaka. Api putra kalatrairva pranan raksheta panditaha vidyamanair yatastai syat sarvam bhuyopi dehinam. So Panditaha putra kalatrairva pranan raksheta. So he has to, even by sacrificing your own children or wives, you have to take care, safeguard your own life. Why? Because only if prana is there, vidyamanaihi pranaihi bhuyopi dehinam tat sarvam syat. All that putra, kalatra, everything can be got back. But then your life, once it is gone, it is gone. Yenakenapyupayena shubhenapya ashubhenava uddhare dinamatmanam samartho dharmam acharet. So first of all, you have to uplift yourself from dinatva, from that condition of being a dina. One has to uplift oneself and then becoming capable. Samartha sanne dharmam acharet. Only after you are capable of doing some action, then can you involve yourself in a dharmic pursuit, in a dharmic action. So before that, you have to make yourself capable and uplift yourself from a pitiable state. Yomayam kurute mudhav pranatyage dhanadishu tasya pranav pranashyanti tair nashtameva tat. So pranatyaga prasange. So when there is an imminent threat to one's life, when the one who becomes mohita with dhana, putra and other things, I have to save them first. If somebody is going to get into this kind of a delusion, so he said there is, once the prana is gone, all that is anyway gone. So one has to take care of oneself first. So saying all this, Damanaka leaves. Evam abhidhaya Damanaka karataka sakasam agamat. Karatakopi tamayantam drishtva provacha bhadra kim kritam tatra bhavata. Damanaka aha maya tavan niti bija nirvapanam kritam. Parato daiva vihitayattam uktancha. So Damanaka says, so Karataka asks him, what did you do there? Tatra kim kritam bhavata. What did you accomplish there? What did you do there? Damanakaha aha maya tavat niti bija nirupapanam kritam. I have sown the seeds of niti there. That is what I did. Parato daiva vihita ayat. Now whatever, see what I had to do, I finished. I had to put efforts towards something. I did that, and now I leave it to Daiva. Now I leave it to destiny to take its course. Uttancha. Parangmukhepi daivetra krityam karyam vipaschita atmadosha vinashaya swachitta stambhanaya cha. I think we saw this as well in the last class. Even when you know that Daiva is Parangmukha, Vipaschit, a buddhiman, is supposed to put effort. Saw this then. We'll continue from here. Athacha Udyoginam Purusha Simhamupaiti Lakshmir Daivena Deyamiti Ka Purusha Vadanti Daivam Nihatya Kurupa Urushamatma Shaktya Yatne Krite Yadina Siddhyati Kotra Doshaha Udyoginam Purusha Simhamupaiti Lakshmir Daivena Deyamiti Ka Purusha Vadanti Daivam Nihatya Kurupa Urushamatma Shaktya Yatne Krite Yadina Siddhyati Kotra Doshaha Udyoginam Purusha Simham Upayeti Upaiti Lakshmihi Daivena Deyam Iti Ka Purushaha Vadanti Daivam Nihatya Kuru Paurusham Atmashaktya Yatne Krite Yadi Nasidhyati Kaha Atra Doshaha Isandichyanaha. No. Udyoginam Purusha Simham Lakshmihi Upayiti. Lakshmi comes to those. Lakshmi comes near that person who is a Purusha Simha. Okay. Who is a lion man. Okay, who is a man like a lion. Okay, he has to have that kind of a majestic outlook, and just like how a lion will put effort and go and kill a rutting majestic elephant and rightfully enjoy its prey. Tadrisham Purusha Simham Udyoginam Yaha Udyogi Vartate, who does not shy away from putting efforts in the right place. Tadrisham Janam Lakshmihi Swayameva Upaiti. So that kind of a man, Lakshmi naturally approaches that kind of a person. She always stays with him. Daivena Deyam iti Ka Purushaha Vadanti. Kutsitaha Purushaha. Ka Purushaha. Nama, only those who are weak and mean, okay, only they look towards Daiva. Okay, and say that everything, whatever is given by Daiva. Daivena Deyam. Sarvamapi Daivena Deyam. Iti Ka Purushanam Vachanam. Ka Purushaha eva evam vadanti. Those who are incapable of putting efforts, it is their empty word. That all that comes from Daiva. So Daivam Nihatya Atma Shaktya Paurusham Kuru. So kill Daiva. Put aside Daiva. Forget about Daiva. Daivam Nihatya. Nihatya here does not literally mean kill. It means just to put aside, ignore your Daiva. Atma Shaktya. You have a Shakti inside you. Using that Shakti, Paurusham Kuru. Please put effort. Prayatnam Kuru. Yatne krite api nasidhyati. Kimapi karyam yatne krite api nasidhyati che. If a task is not accomplished even after we put efforts, tarhi atra doshaha kaha. What is the dosha there? There is no dosha. But then if you do not put effort and then you say that the karya is not accomplished because daivena na dattamidam evam rupena uchyate che tatra mahan doshaha asti. Eva Shlokasya abhiprayah. Because you do not know. Maybe had you put effort, maybe you would have got it. We don't know. Yeah. So one must always put efforts towards accomplishing things is the idea. But that does not mean that there is an overemphasis on action. Okay, it only means that it is because this the relationship between the effort that we put towards accomplishing an action and the result of that. Okay, it is a mystery. Sometimes we put effort and we get. Sometimes we put very little effort, but then we hit upon a huge jackpot. Sometimes we try and try and try, even then we do not get something. So how do we solve this puzzle? Okay. So the Indian solution to that problem is that you put effort but understand that your effort alone will not result in success. So this is the only intelligent way of approaching things. So that is the solution. So it does not mean you don't put effort and stay back and you become, you resign. So with that kind of resigned attitude, you move around in this world. That is not advised. You put effort, but with the full awareness, with complete awareness that your effort alone is never enough towards accomplishing something in this world. With that effort, Daivam nihatya atmashaktya paurusham kuru. Kritepi paurushe, kritepi yatne, yadi karyam nasidhyati, tarhi dosha the abhipraya. Correct. So Damanaka says, so I have done my part. Now what will happen will happen. Daiva here means fate. Okay. So can you please go a little slower? Okay. I'm sorry, Mahodaya. That was the portion that we covered in the last class. So that is why I ran through it. Yeah, it's quite. But now, so today's portion we will go slow in our usual pace. I hope this is okay. This pace is okay. Continuing. Karataka aha. Tat kathaya kidritvaya niti bijam nirvapitam sobravit maya nyonyam tabhyam mithya prajalpena bhedas tatha vihito yatha bhuyopi mantrayantau ekasthana sthitau nadrakshyasi. Karataka aha aho nayuktam bhavata vihitam yat parasparam tau snehardra hridayau sukhashrayau kopasagare prakshiptau uktancha. Karatakaha aha tat kathaya kidrik tvaya niti bijam nirvapitam saha abravit maya anyonyam tabhyam mithya prajalpena bhedaha tatha vihitaha yatha bhuyaha api Karatakaha aha aho yuktam bhavata vihitam yat parasparam tau snehardra hridayau sukhashrayau kopasagare prakshiptau. Karataka then asks Kathaya, so please tell me, kidrik, okay, kena prakarena, so in what way, what exactly did you do, and how did you sow the seeds of niti? You said you sowed the seeds of niti in their minds, right? So how exactly did you do that? Kidrik tvaya etat karyam kritam niti bija nirvapanakhyam karyam tvaya kidrik kritam kidrik sampaditam iti vada iti Damanakam pritchati Karatakaha saha abravit. Now Damanaka replied, maya, by me, anyonyam tabhyam mithya prajalpena bhedaha vihitaha. So what I have done is I have created a bheda between them. Bhedaha vihitaha. So I have caused in a harmonious relationship, I have created a bheda. I have created a disharmony now. How? Mithya prajalpena, by lying. Okay. Anyonyam abhyam mithya prajalpena, between, I have caused a disharmony between these two, and bhedaha vihitaha, and a disharmony has been created in such a way, tatha vihitaha yatha bhuyopi mantrayantau ekasthana sthitau nadrakshyasi, in such a manner that you will never see them again in the same place. Ekasthana sthitau bhuyaha api punaha tau Mantrayantau ekasthanasthitau nadrakshasi. You shall not see them talking together happily in the same place. Having mantrayantau means having a conversation between each other, having a consultation between each other. In that state, you will never see them together again. I have created a disharmony between them in such a manner. Tatha bhedaha vihitaha yatha bhuyopi mantrayantau ekasthanasthitau nadrakshasi. You shall not see them together again in the same place. Karataka is very upset with this strategy. Aho, na yuktam bhavata vihitam. You have not done the right thing, Damanaka. That parasparam tau snehardra hridayo sukhashrayo kopasagare prakshitau. Now, how were they? Parasparam. So between each amongst themselves, between them, they were snehardra hridayas. Okay? So their heart, so one's heart melted for the other. So they had iram in their heart. Snehena ardra hridayaha. Okay? So it was that kind of a compassion and love that they had towards each other. Sukhashrayo. And they were enjoying each other's company. They were feeling pleasure. They were enjoying sukha. Sukhashrayo. Idanim tvaya kopasagare prakshiptau. Now you have immersed them, you have forcefully immersed them in an ocean of kopa. Okay. So now you have kopa here means hostility, disharmony. Okay, you have immersed them in kopa sagara. This is not at all right. Why? Uttancha. Karmanyevadhikaraste. Yes, okay. That can, okay. I'll come to the questions at the end, because this is becoming a distraction for me. I request you to not continuously post the questions. Maybe you can note them down, and towards the end of the session, maybe around 6:40, you can 7:40, you can start typing them. I can will look at each of I will look at each question and answer. Otherwise, it is a huge distraction for me in between the class. Thank you. Kopasagare prakshiptau uktancha. Aviruddham sukhastham yo dukkhamarge niyojayet janma janmantaram dukkhi sanarasyada samshayam. Aviruddham sukhastham yo dukkhamarge niyojayet janma janmantaram dukkhi sanarasyada samshayam. Aviruddham sukhastham yaha dukkhamarge niyojayet janma janmantaram dukkhi saha naraha syat asamshayam. Karataka says a person yaha aviruddham sukhastham naram dukkhamarge niyojayet. See, somebody who is aviruddha, who does not have any opposition towards anybody, and he is sukhastha, okay? He is himself happy, satisfied, he is minding his own business. Tadrisham naram yaha balat dukkhamarge niyojayet. Okay. And that kind of a person who pulls him and puts him on the path of misery, okay, for some reason. Okay, this person could be a sadist, he could be a psychopath, he could be doing that for that, or accomplishing toward, or because of accomplishing any other self-interest, whatever reason it might be. Etadrisham aviruddham sukhastham naram yaha dukkhamarge niyojayati tadrishaha naraha asamshayam. Without any doubt, janma janmantaram yavat dukkhi syat. So he is going to be a dukkhi. He is going to experience a deep sorrow for many, many births to come. Janma janmantaram yavat. For that much of time, he will remain distressed. He will be in sorrow. Dukkhi syat. Aparam tvam yad bheda matrenapi hrishtaha tadapyayuktam. Yataha sarvatopi jano virupakarane samartho bhavati nopakartum uktancha. Aparam tvam yat bheda matrena api hrishtaha tadapi ayuktam yataha sarvataha api janaha virupakarane samarthaha bhavati na upakartum. And the fact that you seem to be very happy because you have created this rift, okay, bheda matrena. See, you have created just bheda, okay. You think that the value of creating a rift between, two people is this, okay, at this level. But I think that it is this low. You have actually stooped low in doing such an act. Bheda matrena api bhavan hrishtaha tat na yuktam kutaha sarvatopi janaha virupakarane samarthaha bhavati. See, everywhere a person can do virupakarana. Virupakarana means messing with something, right? Something is beautiful. Virupakarana means you mess it up. Okay. You render it ugly. So making something ugly, making something messy, virupakarane, sarvatopi janaha samarthaha. So what kind of a qualification or a great quality should a person possess for doing virupakarana? Everybody is capable of doing that. Parantu sarvatopi janaha upakartumena samartha asti. So he is not capable of helping. Building beauty is difficult. Okay, building ugliness, destroying something that is beautiful, that is easy. It can be done like this. But then building something that is beautiful, building something that will last long, that is indeed a great task. So by destroying something, by destroying a beautiful relationship, what you have accomplished is something that is really pathetic, and you're feeling happy about it. It is extremely sad. It just says what kind of a sad being you are. Okay, that is Karataka's anguish. That is what he is saying. Sarvatopi janaha virupakarane samarthaha na upakartum. And you are so happy by creating this rift between two people. What have you done here? You have just destroyed a beautiful relationship. Ghatayitumeva nichah parakaryam vetti na prasadhayitum patayitumasti shaktirvayor vriksham na chonnamitum. Ghatayitumeva nichah parakaryam vetti na prasadhayitum patayitumasti shaktirvayor vriksham na chonnamitum. Ghatayitum eva nichah parakaryam vetti na prasadhayitum patayitum asti shaktihi vayoho vriksham nacha unnamitum. Nichaha, Anicha, an adhama, parakaryam ghatayitum eva vetti. So all that he knows is to destroy somebody else's project. Okay, some karya, parakaryam, yatkimapi bhavet. Okay, anything it could be. So Anicha, an adhama, is only capable of destroying parakarya. What is so great? That is what he is capable of. Na prasadhayitum. He does not know to accomplish things for others. He does not know to build beautiful things. He does not know to do successful things. All that he is capable of is destruction. And there can be no pride in that. Right? Vayoho vriksham patayitum shaktihi asti na unnamitum. Look at what wind is doing. Okay, so he is comparing an adhama to the wind here. What does the wind do? The only thing it is capable of doing is to make a tree fall. Okay, to uproot a tree, to make a tree fall. All that it is capable of doing. What is so great about it? It cannot bring it back and make it stand again. Right? So if there is some praiseworthy task in the world, it is that of those who build great things, right? That is something that is praiseworthy. What is there in destruction? And you have just done that. It's Karataka's idea. We have to understand here that the author is showing us two different approaches of niti, right? Because Karataka, we have to understand that Karataka initially was as worried as Damanaka about Sanjivaka usurping all the time of Pingalaka. And Pingalaka is not able to devote time for Rajyabhara, Rajya Karya. So Karataka and Damanaka, both of them are equally worried, but Karataka has an approach towards Niti and Damanaka has another approach towards Niti. Probably in this scenario, Karataka definitely would have wanted to warn Sanjivaka and also inform Pingalaka that you have strayed away from your duties and you have certain responsibilities towards the kingdom. Maybe a moderate, light approach, or at least, Sama, okay, Dana, he would have tried and then gone to Bheda. Okay, but this Damanaka is very greedy. Okay, so he wants immediate results. So, and out of his greediness, he proposes this. Okay, so the author of Panchatantra only shows us two ways of niti. Okay, so through the mouth of Karataka, we have one approach, and through the mouth of Damanaka, we have another approach. And each story is again open to interpretation. And so if if we agree to Damanaka's ways and then we look at Damanaka's story, that also seems okay. That is also a type, the way in which things can be accomplished. But even in those stories, there are multiple interpretations. Okay, so Panchatantra keeps the conclusions open and leaves it to us. Okay, so it does not give a final verdict as to what is to be done. Okay? It does not say that. It says there are different approaches and it lays all the approaches before us. So this is Karataka's approach. Damanakaha aha anabhigyo bhavan niti shastrasya tena itad bravishi uktancha yataha. Because Karataka also can say uktancha, right? He is also quoting his tradition. Right? He says that no. I also know certain things. What have I learned? What I think is the essence of niti. He also quotes different shlokas. Damanaka also quotes. So Damanaka says no. You do not know niti shastra at all. Bhavan niti shastrasya anabhignaha. You do not know niti shastra, dear Karataka. Tena etad bravishi. That is why you are talking like this. It is told like this. This is the niti that I have learnt. This is another verse that we have seen earlier. It is a repetition of the verse. Jatamatram nayashatrum vyadhincha prasamam nayet mahabalopi tenaiva vriddhim prapya sahanyate. Jatamatram nayashatrum vyadhincha prasamam nayet mahabalopi tenaiva vriddhim prapya sahanyate. Jatamatram na yaha shatrum vyadhimcha prasamam nayet mahabalaha api tena eva vriddhim prapya saha hanyate. Jatamatram yaha jatamatram shatrum vyadhimcha prasamam na nayet. So mahabalaha api, okay, the one, even being powerful, he could be a very powerful person, that does not matter. But then if he fails to curtail a disease, a vyadhi or an enemy, okay, if he fails to curtail them as soon as they are born, jata matram shatrum jata matram vyadhim yaha prasamam nanayet, the one who does not curtail it, the one who does not nip it in the bud, saha mahabalaha, he could be a great person, he could be a mahabali, it does not matter. Vriddhim prapya tena eva hanyate. So what this shatru born today will grow. Vriddhim prapya tena eva hanyate. He will be killed by the very same shatru and the very same vyadhi. So these have to be taken care of when in the nascent stage itself. Tat Shatrubhutoyam asmakam mantripadaharanat uktancha. Tat Shatrubhutaha ayam asmakam mantripadaharanat uktancha. So this Damanaka says, ayam Sanjivakaha asmakam Shatrubhutaha. You are not understanding. This Sanjivaka is our enemy. Please open your eyes and see. Why? Mantripada aharanat. He has taken away, he has snatched the position of mantri from us. He has taken away our Sachivya Padavi. It is gone. Even though Sanjivaka did not wantonly do it. Probably Sanjivaka is not even aware that his, that he is actually occupying the Sachivya Padavi that was actually occupied by Damanaka and Karataka, because the king, Pingalaka, whosever counsel the king seeks, he is the minister. So Pingalaka had been seeking only Sanjivaka's counsel lately. So he is the minister, but he does not even know that, he has taken away their post or anything. He might not know. His ignorance is not an excuse for what is actually happening in the world. Right? In the actual world, these people were the traditional ministers, and now they have lost their post and the king is not doing his duties. All this is happening. That is the real world. Sanjivaka may be unaware about that, but his ignorance is not an excuse. That is what Damanaka is saying. Mantripada aharanat saha asmakam shatruhu pitrupaitamaham sthanam yo yasyatra jigishati satasya sahajashatruruchedyopi priye sthitaha pitrupaitamaham sthanam yo yasyatra jigishati Satasya sahajashatruruchedyopi priye sthitaha pitrupaitamaham sthanam yaha yasya atra jigishati saha tasya sahajaha shatruhu uchedyaha api priye sthitaha. Atra asmin loke yaha Yasya pitrupaitamaham sthanam jigishati. So the one who has this desire of usurping somebody's pitrupaitamahika sthana, some traditional post that somebody has been enjoying over generations. So tadrisham sthanam yaha jigishati, yaha manushyaha jigishati, saha tasya manusyasya yasya pitrupaitamaham sthanam sah jigishati tasya manusyasya ayam janaha sahaja shatruhu bhavati. He is a natural enemy. What is even there to talk here or discuss? He is the natural enemy for us. Priye sthitaha api uchedyaha. So such a person, priye sthitaha api. So even if he is a dear one to us, he is in a favorable position, okay, and he is in a dear position, does not very close one, a dear one, tathapi saha uchedyaha, he has to be uprooted and destroyed. Yes. Tanmaya sa udasinataya samanito bhayapradanena yavat tavadahamapi tena sachivyat pratyavitaha अथवा साध्विदम उच्यते. तत् मया सहा उदासीनतया समानीतः अभयप्रदानेन यावत् तावत् अहम् अपि तेन साचिव्यात् प्रच्यावितः अथवा साध्विदम उच्यते. See, earlier what did I do? Saha udasinataya maya samanitaha. So I brought him here with a udasina bhavana, right? I was disinterested. I was indifferent. I was disinterested. I did not, plan all this. Okay, I did not know that they will become such good friends and that he will actually take away my mantri post and the king will forget his duties. Nothing of this sort I anticipated. Udasinataya samanitaha abhayapradanena. Okay, and I also gave him abhayapradana. Okay, I made Pingalaka give abhayapradana. But then tena ahamapi sachivyat pratyavitaha. But then I was made to fall from the post of minister by him. Tena Sanjivakena aham pratyavitaha. Okay. Pratyavita nijanta means to cause to fall. Okay. Chyavana is to fall. Okay. Chyavana is to cause to fall. Like pathana. Reading, make to read. That is a nijanta prayoga. Evameva pratyavitaha. I have been made to fall from my ministerial post by that Sanjivaka. Sadhvidam uchyate is indeed told rightly. Dadyat sadhuryadi nijapade durjanaya pravesham tannashaya prabhavati tato vanchamana swayam saha tasmad deyo vipulamati bhirnavakasho dhamana Jaropi syad grihapatiriti shruyate vakyatotra dadyat sadhuryadi nijapade durjanaya pravesham tannashaya prabhavati tato vanchamanas saham tasmaddeyo vipulamatiphirnavakashodhamanam jaropi syad grihapatiriti shruyate vakyatotra dadyat sadhuhu yadi nijapade durjanaya pravesham tat nashaya prabhavati tataha vanchamanah swayam saha tasmat deyaha vipulamatibihi na avakashaha adhamanam jaraha api syati grihapatihi iti shruyate vakyataha atra sadhuhu durjanaya nijapade yadi pravesham dadyat. If a sadhu, if a righteous person, if a virtuous person gives space in his home, nijapade, nijagrihe, durjanaya, for a wicked man, if he gives space, room in his house, okay. Nijapade yadi pravesham dadyat, if he is going to give space in his home, tataha saha swayam vanchamanaha tat nashaya prabhavati. Tat saha, tataha, then saha tat swayam vanchamanaha, so wanting that place for himself, okay. Tat vanchamanaha, so craving for that place for all by himself, nashaya prabhavati, he attempts to destroy the very place, that person, okay. He starts working for the destruction of the owner of the house, okay. Tasya nashaya prabhavati, he attempts to do that. Tasmat, because of that, vipulamatibihi, so the one who is prudent, okay, the one who has a fine intellect, vipulamatibihi tadrishaihi janaihi adhamanam avakashaha nadeyaha, one should not give space for a wicked man, no matter how deena he might appear, in whatever form he might appear, and he might, try to please us. No, one has to watch out. And if you understand that this is the swabhava that is residing inside, avakasha leshopi na dadyat sadhuhu, avakasha leshopi na deyam, avakasha leshopi na deyaha tasmai durjanaya khalaya, one should not spare even a small room for him, small space for him. Why? Because atra vakyataha shruyate. So we hear this, okay. So this is what we hear in the tradition. We know this. Vakyataha shruyate. We know this. What do we know? Jaraha api grihapatihi syat. Even an adulterer can become a house owner. Okay. Imagine that a man in the house is inviting and giving space for a khala at his home. It could be possible that he usurps the fellow's wife and drives him out of the house. Tadrishaha jaraha. Jaraha nama adulterer. Tadrishaha jaraha api kadachiti grihapatihi syat. He could become the house owner and drive the actual owner out. So I have been very cautious. I did good to Sanjivaka, but see what he did to me. So I am giving him back. That is Damanaka's idea. Tena maya tasyopari vadhopayaha eva virachyate. So I have devised this method as a strategy for killing him only. That is my strategy. Tasyopari vadhopayaha eva virachyate, and I am totally justified because saha mama pitrupaitamahikam sthanam jigishati. Mahan doshaha tasmat yat maya kriyate tat sarvam yuktameva iti Damanakasya abhiprayah. Saha tasya nashaya va deshatyagaya va bhavishyati. Saha nama, this strategy. So I am thinking of his vadhopaya only. His vadhopaya, that is my upaya, that is my strategy. And this upaya, saha upayaha Tasya nashaya va deshatyagaya va bhavishyati. It can result either in his destruction or him abandoning this place. Anything can happen, I don't know. Tacha tvam muktva anyaha nagnasyati. And this nobody will know other than you. Okay. I have done it in such a way that nobody will know that I have a role in this. Tvam muktva anyaha kopi nagnasyati. Taduktame te swarthaya anushtitam. Tadyuktame swarthaya anushtitam. This I have done, okay, for my self-interest. I am openly agreeing to it. There is no hiding for me. I am being honest with you. Tadyuktame, tad uktame te, tad uktam yetat te. Okay, te uktam. Okay, I have told you, swarthaya anushtitam iti te. I have told you that this has been done purely for serving my self-interest, and I will sleep like a baby. I have no regrets. Damanaka says, Uttancha. Nistrimsham hridayam kritva vani mikshurasopamam vikalpotra nakartavyo hanyadeva pakarinam. Nistrimsham hridayam kritva vani mikshurasopamam vikalpotra nakartavyo hanyadeva pakarinam. Nistrimsham hridayam kritva vanim ikshurasa upamam vikalpaha atra na kartavyaha hanyati eva apakarinam. So apakarinam hanyadeva. So an apakari is supposed to be killed. There is no second thought in this. Apakarinam hanyat. Apakari is supposed to be killed. And how? Hridayam nistrimsham kritva. So having made your heart very cruel. Nistrimsham means cruel, ruthless. Okay. So as sharp as a sword. Okay. You make it so sharp, you make it so cruel, ruthless. Evam rupam hridayam kritva. But at the same time, vanim cha ikshurasopamam kritva. And making your speech as sweet as the sugarcane juice. Ikshurasa upamam vacham kritva, vanim kritva, apakarinam hanyat. Kill the enemy. There is nothing wrong in this. Atra vikalpa nakartavyaha. One should not waver in doing such acts. Suddenly, some kind of a guilt trips your mind. Okay, you start wavering. Oh my God, did I do wrong? Is it's dharma or adharma? Should I not have done it? What kind of a repercussion should I face for it? No such thoughts you should entertain. Be very cold, ruthless, act, put out a good act, okay, so that the enemy will come and fall into your trap. Just don't be ashamed of lying or doing anything. It's perfectly okay to do this to an apakari. As long as he is an apakari, this is completely justified. You can do this. Damanaka's stance. Aparam mritopyasmakam bhojyo bhavishyati tadekam tavad vairasadhanam. Aparam sachivyamcha bhavishyati triptischeti. Tad gunatrayesmin nupasthite kasman mam dushayasi tvam jadya bhavat uttancha. Aparam mritaha api asmakam bhojyaha bhavishyati. Tadekam tavad vairasadhanam. Aparam sachivyamcha bhavishyati triptischeti. See, mritaha api asmakam bhojyaha bhavishyati. So even if this Sanjivaka is going today, he is going to become our food. Right? We are going to get plenty of flesh and nice food to eat. What's your problem? Ekam tavat vairasadhanam. See, one thing is subduing the enemy, killing the enemy. That is accomplished. Aparam sachivyamcha bhavishyati. Then we will get back our ministerial posts. We can become ministers. And then thirdly, tripti. We are going to get tripti. Triptischa iti tad gunatrayesmin asmin gunatraye upasthite. When you have three pluses to deal here, there are three gunas. Okay, so the result of my action is that we have threefold profits. Okay. Kasman dushayasi tvam jadya bhavat. See, out of your jadya and out of your manda buddhi, out of your lack of courage, whatever it is, you are accusing me. Kasman mam dushayasi uttancha. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim cha panditah gūda buddhir nalakshyeta vane chaturako yatha. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim cha panditah gūda buddhir nalakshyeta vane chaturako yatha. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim cha panditah gudha buddhihi na lakshiyeta vane chaturakaha yatha. So gudha buddhihi panditah. Okay. So a pandita who is gudha buddhi. Gudha buddhi here means somebody who is very good in designing secret strategies. Okay. So he is very good at devising very cunning strategies. Tadrishaha Gudha Buddhi. You cannot figure that this is what is going on in his mind when you look at externally. From outside, it is impossible to know. Tadrishaha Gudha Buddhi. Yeah. Who has a very secretive mind. You do not know what goes on in his mind. Such a cunning fellow. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim cha kuruvan anyaihi nalakshyeta. It is possible that he is oppressing others. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim kuruvan. And through others' oppression, he is accomplishing some self-interest. Okay, swartha siddhim sadhayan. Parasya pīdanam kuruvan swartha siddhim yaha sadhayati. Etadrisham karyam kuruvan api. So, anyaihi nalakshyeta. He shall not be discovered by others. People will not even know why such a cruel thing is happening in this world. It could all be the output of a very cruel mastermind's plan. Okay. So it could be like that, is what he says. And it is totally okay to do that and go back and to enjoy it being off the screen, but then to enjoy this kind of a sadistic pleasure. Okay, it is okay. He says, Damanaka says this. Karataka aha kathametat. And he says this like the Chaturaka in the forest. So he is introducing another story. Karataka aha kathametat. So he is asking about Chaturaka's story. Simha Shrigala Katha. Story of the lion and the jackal. This is very similar to the story of lion and the camel. Okay. The camel that came as a refugee and it got accommodated and finally got killed out of its own foolishness. Same way, there is another camel in the story, and what happens to it when it comes and it stays in the retinue of the lion and the jackal. Almost same theme. Okay. Then we have a slight change towards the end. Asti kasminschid vanodeshe vajradamštro nama simhaha tasya chaturaka kravyamukhanamano shrigala vrikau bhritya bhutau sadaivanugatau tatraiva vane prativasataha athanyadine simhena kadachidasanna prasava vedanaya svayuthad bhrashtoshtripavishta kasminschid vanagahane samasadita atha tam vyapadya yavadudaram spotayati tavajjiva laghu dasera nishkrantaha asti kasminschit vanodeshe vajradamštraha nama simhaha tasya chaturaka kravyamukha namanau shrigala vrikau bhritya bhutau sadaiva anugatau tatra eva vane prativasataha atha anyadine simhena kadachit asanna prasava vedanaya swayuthat bhrashta ushtri upavishta kasminschit vanagahane samasadita. Samasadita atha tam vyapadya यावत् उदरं स्फोटयति तावत् जीवन लघु दासेरक शिशुः निष्क्रान्तः. So in a certain forest, there was a simha called Vajradamshtra. Tasya Chaturaka Kravyamukha Namanau Shrigala Vrikau Bhritya Bhutau. So he had two sevas, Chaturaka and Kravyamukha. Chaturaka was the name of the Jada, and Kravyamukha was the name of the wolf, and both of them were the servants of this Vajradamshtra. Vajradamshtra, the one who had teeth like that of Vajra. He was a very strong, mighty lion. Chaturaka, into clever, the clever jackal, and Kravyamukha. Kravya refers to flesh, corpse. Okay. So there are different meanings for Kravya. Here we can say it is flesh. Okay, the one who has flesh in his mouth is Kravyamukha. Yeah. So that is why there is one name for Agni. He is called Kravyavahana and Havyavahana. Okay, so the offering that we give to deities is Havya in the Yaga, and he takes it to the Devas. He is called Havyavahana. And the same Agni also takes the offerings to Pitrus, right? And at that time he is called Kravyavahana. Okay, so because he takes it through the corpse, the preta. Okay, so that is why he is called Kravyavahana. Kravya refers to flesh. Okay, flesh. Here you can take it as flesh. And of course, there are good number of other meanings for Kravya. Kravya Mukha Namano Shrigala Vrikau Bhritya Bhutau. They were the Bhrityas for this line. Sadaiva Anugatau. They were always the followers of the lion. Vajradamshtra. Tatraiva Vane Prativasataha. They lived in the same forest. Anyadine, one day what happened? Simhena Upavishta Ushtri Samasadita. So by the lion, a female camel was found. Okay. Simhena Ushtri Samasadita was found. Kidrishi Ushtri Upavishta Sati Asit. Sa Kidrishi Asit Upavishta. She was seated. Upavishta Ushtri Kasmimshchi Gahane. In a deep forest, this female camel was found by this Vajradamshtra. And how was she? Punaha sa Kidrishi Kadachit Asanna Prasava. So she was nearing her delivery time. Asanna Prasava. Her Prasava was very close. Her delivery was very close. Prasava Vedanaya Svayuthat Bhrashta. And she had, she lost her yutha. So it was travel always in a group. And she somehow lost her way from the yutha because she could not keep up with their pace because she had Prasava Vedana. Prasava Vedanaya Svayuthat Bhrashta. She had gone astray and all the other members of her yutha were gone somewhere. Samasadita was found by this lion. What did he do then? Tam Vyapadya. Immediately the Vajradamshtra pounced upon her and killed her. Vyapadya. So when he tears her udara, when he tears apart her abdomen, her udara, tavat laghu jivan laghu daseraka shishuhu nishkrantaha. A very small daseraka is ushtra. A baby camel comes out. Daseraka shishuhu nishkrantaha came out. And he was alive. The shishu was alive now. Simho Daserakyav Pishitena Saparivara Param Tripti Mupagataha. Param Snehad Baladaserakam Tyaktam Grihamani Edam Uvacha. Bhadra Natesti Mrityor Bhayam Matto na Anyasmadapi. Tata Swechayatra Vane Brahmyatamid. Yataste Shanku Sadrishau Karnau. Tata Shanku Karno Nama Bhavishyati. Simhopi Daserakyaha Pishitena Ushtriyaha Pishitena. With the huge amount of meat of the female camel Ushtri, Saparivaraha Patripti Pagataha. He ate to to his heart's content along with his parivara. Okay, so much of meat was there. Saparivaraha param triptim upagataha. He attained great satisfaction along with his family members. Param, snehat, out of a lot of affection and compassion. Baladase rakam tyaktam grihamaniya. So the Baladase raka, the camel Shishu that was abandoned, tyakta, it had nobody, right? He brought the Baladase raka home, grihamaniya idamuvacha. He told the camel, Bhadra, dear, natesti mrityor bhayam. You don't have to be afraid of death. Mattaha na anyasmadapi. Neither from me nor from others. You don't have to worry about death. Nobody will kill you. Tataha swechaya atra vane bhramyatam. So as you wish, you may freely roam around in this forest. Yataha te shanku sadrishau karnam. And because your ears are in the shape of shanku, a shanku is like a spike. Okay, spike. So because of that, tataha shanku karno nama bhavishati. So we will call you Shanku Karana. From today onwards, you will be called Shanku Karana. And so he does Namakarana for the Dasayaraka Shishu. We'll stop here. I will take questions.
Bhagini, namaskara.
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 Am I audible?
You are audible. In the other one, about this Daivam, you were saying that the Indian tradition is that we will do the effort, but will not, will also realize that everything is not dependent on our effort only. That is why I put that karmanyeva adhikaraste, whether
Yes.
that kind of. Okay, there is one part.
Yes, that is, yeah. So I'm sorry, but can you, could you please repeat it, sir? I somehow.
No, that is why I thought it seems to reflect our Gita Vachanam. Karmanyeva adhikarate ma phaleshu kadachana.
Yes.
In some sense,
it says that you have karmanyeva adhikaraha. In fact, adhikara here means that means control. Literally, it can be translated as control. Krishna says that you have control only over your effort. You do not have control over the result because so many other factors are there in determining the result. It is just not the result of your effort. Factors in play. So you please remember that. That is what Krishna says. Yes, that is precisely what is reflected in this verse also. It says, Yatne krite yadina siddhyati kotra doshaha. So if you put effort and then you do not get, there is no problem. But then if you do not put effort at all and you keep blaming Daiva, then that is a problem because it could be that, so I have heard this upamana. So when talking about karma, I have heard this somewhere that it is like having money in the bank. Okay. So you do have some results that are accessible to us, like the money in the bank, but then one needs to put the effort of going to the bank and getting the money. Okay. We are definitely not going to get more than the money that is available in our deposit, right? But then one has to always go and put the effort of getting the money from the bank. It works like that.
Okay. Now, number 2, this last point you were talking about, Kravya is, yes, Mamsa, but Pitaraha, Kavya Vahanaha ityeva Agnehe Sambodhanam bhavati. Pitruvishye, Kavya Vahana. Kavyam ityukte, oblation for food. It is not Kravyam.
No. Kravya Vahana is also there. He is also
as far as I know, it is only Kavya Vahanam. You can refer to the book if possible. Apte also says an ablation of food to deceased ancestors. It doesn't say Kavyam is flesh or anything.
No. Kravya, let me check right now. See, there is Kravya Vahana. Yes, Kravya Vahana. You can check the dictionary. I can share the dictionary screen right now. Where is it?
Under Kavyam, it says Kavya Vahana is fire.
No. Yeah. Kavya Vahana is there, but Kravya Vahana is also an epithet of Agni. Okay. Do you see it here, sir? You see my you see my screen, Monier Williams?
Ek minute. Kravya
Vahana. carrying corpses, an epithet of Agni?
Kavyavahana. An epithet of Agni. Opposed to Havyavahana. But as far as I know, it only means Kavyavahana. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can perhaps look at the etymology, how this Kravya becomes Kavyavahana becomes an epithet of Agni. So thanks, ma'am. Anyway, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Namaste. Any other questions? Okay, 7:45. Maybe we can continue this in the next class because there is another class that is due. So we will end today's session and tomorrow we'll continue the discussion. Samapayamah. Dhanyavadaha. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.